You've been lied to. How many of us have heard personal development gurus say you need a strong reason why? A strong reason why so that you can achieve what it is that you want. But this isn't the ultimate answer to get what you're chasing after. If you're struggling to achieve a goal, you have to analyze your patterns. You have to dig many layers below a superficial level to understand why something isn't happening for you. Let me explain. You see, a strong reason why will motivate you, but motivation doesn't last, and it won't get you far on the difficult days. However, recognizing what you want, why you want it, and most importantly, what you need to do in your day-to-day is how you ultimately get closer to achieving your goal. Now, I'm going to go deep into an example from the deen side. Because you see, imagine that you struggle with your prayer. And you know it's important to pray 5 times a day. The strongest reason why you want to do this is already apparent. You don't want to go to hell, do you? You don't pray, you go to hell. First thing your question on the day of judgment is, did you pray? How much more motivation do you really need? So why is it that we see today, I'm just throwing a number out, but I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty accurate. Why is it we see today that over 90% of Muslims don't pray? Maybe like Jummah in the week and that's about it. And here's the thing. It's not because they're bad people. Like, a lot of people out there who aren't praying, they feel guilty. They feel terrible that they don't. The reason why to do it is extremely strong. But fixing the patterns is what they need. Fixing the patterns is what they need to figure out, which they haven't just yet. So let's look a bit deeper into this. We're going past the superficial level now, right? Ask what's stopping them praying. The first item to address is, how do they know it's time to pray? Well, they need a timetable. That's obvious, right? But most people haven't even taken this most obvious step. They just feel bad that they're not praying. Okay, we're going in a good motion now. We've asked this first important question to break this pattern, create some new ones. But where did they get a timetable from? It's quite simple. First, your local mosque. Either go to their website, if you want a physical timetable, go to the masjid and take it from them. Second, you can use an app. Like there's one out there called Mawaqit. It works across Europe. The third, if you're really struggling to find a timetable, the Mawaqit's not working for you in your locality, maybe you're living in the middle of nowhere, just go to Google. You just Google prayer times in Manchester and Sheikh Google will give you your entire timetable for the day. So what's next? We know what time, but we need reminders, right? We set reminders for our Teams meeting, for Google Meets. We put appointments in our calendar. We need to do the same for Salah. We got 5 alarms to set now. And if you're like me, you're trying to get to the masjid more often to pray in Jamaat, to pray in the congregational prayer, then I would set my alarm 10 minutes before. It takes me about 3 minutes to get to the mosque. You have about 2-3 minutes to make wudu. You got a couple minutes to wrap up whatever it is that you were doing before the alarm went off. And maybe even get there a bit early so you can pray your sunnahs as well. Very good. Now, some may struggle even with these points because they're considering a very ideal scenario where you're at home, you're in a comfort zone, you have access to a prayer mat, wudu facilities, and you can smack out your 2 or 4 rakats whenever you need to. But what if you're working in a non-Muslim workplace? What if you're abroad? What if you're remote working and you're out in the shopping center or in a coffee shop or somewhere like this? Then again, you need to plan out your life. You need to break the patterns and make new patterns. We have to, firstly, carry a portable prayer mat. Here's one I got, for example. It was gifted to me by the guys at Launch Good, mashallah. It's in my car, it's always there. If I need to pray on the road, I can pull up at a service station, I can pray. Carry a portable prayer mat first and foremost. Then consider, where am I going to be during Zuhr on that day? Or where am I going to be at Maghrib on that day? Am I going to be away from home? Or am I going to be far away from a mosque? What is it I've got to do to pray on time? So firstly, get a prayer mat, okay? You can get it from a local Islamic store. You can buy it online. Or if you're lucky, you might even get it gifted to you like I did. Have an app downloaded to check the compass, okay? If you're living in the UK, for example, it's going to be southeast. But the compass will tell you the direction to Mecca if you just find one on your app store. Now, an easy hack, once you have all of these two things, you have your prayer mat and you have your compass, is figuring out where to pray. Okay, you're in the town center. Easy hack. The women know this one. Shopping mall fitting rooms. Simple. If there's no prayer space in the shopping hall, a mall, or there's no masjid to go to, you can very easily do this. Me personally, alhamdulillah, I've gained quite a lot of confidence over the years and I can pray anywhere now, alhamdulillah. So I will happily just go like underneath a staircase when no one's walking, or underneath an elevator, or to like an abandoned corner. Or sometimes if I'm in like a hotel setting or something like this, I'll go to like a quiet lobby, or I'll find an empty meeting room. And here's a good one as well. Look, we live in very diverse communities right now. Wherever you're at, a coffee shop or a restaurant or something like this, you see a bearded brother or a sister with hijab. I do this often myself. I'll go to them and say, hey, do you know anywhere nearby I can go pray? Many a time, they'll just have somewhere in like the back room or somewhere. There's a musalla already set. They're like, yeah, you can just go pray over there. Simple and straightforward. So take advantage of the Muslims around you and ask them about prayer spaces, inshallah. Have the confidence to ask. I remember recently I was in an area local to Manchester. I was in Charlton and I needed to pray Maghrib. And I already missed a Jamaat at the masjid and the closest mosque was like 5-10 minutes away. I was like, you know what? I bet I can just pray over here somewhere, man. So I saw a hardware shop which I knew was owned by a Muslim. I walked in. I said, hey, bro, do you have somewhere I can pray? He gave me his back room. Musalla was already set. And I just prayed there. So have the confidence to ask. Now, if you're in a permanent non-Muslim workplace, then you just have to have the confidence to go to your boss and say, hey, listen, boss, I found God recently. You've got to speak in terms they might understand. Boss, I found God. I just need somewhere to spend 5 minutes to pray twice during the day. Can you give me a room or a small space for this? And I've never heard this being rejected before. I've never heard of a workplace which wouldn't give a workspace, especially in the diverse communities we live. Now, in extreme circumstances like today, it is raining like crazy. And you're in the middle of nowhere. You're on an A road. There's no service stops. Salah time is running out. You lost track of time. In those extreme circumstances, you can pray in your car. I've done this maybe twice in my life. It's not something you make a habit of. I've done this twice in my life. And because you're sat down while you're praying, and if you're praying on a plane, it's the same scenario, then after you complete the prayer and you get home, you have to pray it again. Because there was no standing portion in the salah, which is very essential. But because the salah time came in that moment and you had to pray, you made sure your prayer was done, and then you have to make it up afterwards. Just the important point I want to make. Now, wudu, ablution, is one that gets us bad. We don't want to be that guy in a public restroom where we have our foot deep inside of the sink, washing away. Then John or Tony walk in and they make that awkward 10-second eye contact with you, like, what the hell are you doing? Guys, listen, the most senior scholar in my locality, he said doing masah, wiping over the socks, is okay. Yeah, people will have their own opinion, but this has made personally my life very, very easy. Like, if I'm in scenarios where I'm traveling and stuff and I don't have a proper wudu area or anything like this, wiping over the socks is a very convenient thing. If you can wash your feet, it's even better. And once again, you don't make a habit of these things. But if the circumstances are like this, where it's not possible for you to do the difficult things, then there's an exemption for this. Follow what your local scholars say, but I'm telling you, this is what the most senior scholar in my locality says, and I very much trust his opinion. If you left in the morning with wudu and you put your socks on, and then you broke your wudu through the day, then you can make masah over your socks, inshallah. Just make sure there's no holes in your socks. That's one condition I put on myself. So, this entire thing I've just mentioned over the last 5 minutes or 6 minutes or so, this is what we call fixing your patterns. It's about digging deep into the reasons why we don't do what we would want to be doing. It applies to so much in our life. On spirituality, family, business, finances. We just have to look past the superficial levels to find the answers we're ultimately looking for. So easy for us to say, you know what, I want to become a millionaire. I've got a strong reason why I want to do it. I want to retire my parents, or I want to give to charity, or I want to build my akhirah, this. Have you thought about at least making an extra £1,000 a month or an extra £500 a month? What have you got to do to achieve it in that month? What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? How are you going to fit that into your schedule? This is how you make something a reality. This is what we have to do. I hope this was helpful for you guys. It's not just about motivation. It's not just about finding a strong why. It's about putting practical implementation, which breaks your patterns and realigns them in a conducive way for you to achieve whatever it is you're looking for. May Allah bless you with success, Habibi. Assalamu alaikum.